So check this out, right? If I woke up today and I was completely broke, I had absolutely nothing. I had no money, no investment, no emergency fund, and I had to completely start from zero. I'm not gonna lie, that would be pretty scary, but I think that given my background, I wasn't born rich or anything. I was born in a poor family. I had to go to school, go to college, and pretty much work my way up to where I am today. I think with that and a minimalist mindset, I would be able to rebuild everything back up from scratch without making the exact same mistake I made back in the past. So in today's video, I want to walk you through exactly what I would do if I had to start over from zero. And we're not going to talk about winning the lottery because we know that's not possible. And we have no secret stash on the side. We're talking about completely from zero with absolutely nothing. So let's get into it. First thing first, let's be very clear about what we mean when we say we're starting from zero. So we're talking about we have no money, we have no investment, we do have basic skills, we do have internet, we have no emergency fund, but we're also capable of physically working, so that's very important. And we're going to also assume that we still have to pay our bills. So every month bills is coming in left and right. In certain situations, for most people, we have to assume some level of debt, right? So we're talking about credit card loan, student loan, car loan, and so on. And even owing some money to friends and family members if they're willing to help you. But all in all, we simply have no savings or no secret stash. But emotionally, starting from zero can be really overwhelming because it's not just the number. There's the humiliation that comes with that and the embarrassment and really you having to sit here and thinking about, well, how did I even get here in the first place? And one thing I like to say is this, right? Once you're at the top, everybody want to be your friends, everybody want to be around you, everybody want to hang out with you. Till you're at the bottom, then you start to realize who's really your friends, who's really your ride or die, or who's really your day ones. But here's the thing, right? Starting from zero pretty much gives you a clean pass. You now have the ability to create an entire new system that completely works for you, and that's going to make sure you don't end up in the same place you're at right now. And I'll say that's where minimalism comes in, right? Because you're not trying to build that same clutter lifestyle. You're trying to build something that's way simpler, way more efficient, and something that's going to make your life better. So if I had to start over from zero, my first thing is to focus on making sure that everything within this month is stable. I'm not trying to fix my entire life right now because I don't have time for that type of game. I'm just trying to make sure nothing get out of control. So what exactly am I doing? I'm sitting down with a note app or a notebook and I'm writing down these three numbers, right? How much money is coming in this month? What do I need to pay so I can stay alive? And how many days till my next paycheck? Because as of right now, I don't have the luxury to play any type of games. I don't have time to sit down and chill and budget. I just need to make sure I know exactly what I'm dealing with. But if we have money lined up, that's pretty cool because all I have to do is write them on a timeline. For example, this date, rent is due. This date, it's my phone bill. And this date, I get paid. And like that, I would be able to visually see it and it would take less panic off of me, which would also put me in this problem solving mode. And now that I have an idea of everything that I'm dealing with, my next move will be to take out the bleeding because minimalism is not about being luxury or aesthetic. It's about survival with clarity. So I'll be extra hard on myself in terms of anything that aren't essentials. So we're talking about apps, subscriptions, services. I would either pause or cancel them. And if there's anything on auto renew that's not adding any sort of value into my life, they're not staying. And I'll also be extra careful in terms of my fixed costs. We're talking about car bills, rent, groceries. If you're spending too much money on groceries every month, I would say you're trying to turn it down a little. And in terms of your car bill, do you actually need the car or is it better to do public transportation? As for your rent, most people might hate this, but you might have to downgrade to a smaller apartment if you have to because you definitely don't want to be in a position where you're stuck because you're trying to let your ego get in the way of really trying to rebuild yourself. Now, after I stabilize everything, my next move is to make as much money as possible and ignore all the noises. I'm not thinking about investment allocation. I'm not thinking about which one is the best retirement account right now. All I'm thinking about is within the next 30 to 60 days, how can I make as much money as possible? And first off, we're going to look at our current job, right? Am I able to pick up extra shifts? Can I work overtime? If I can't, I might look to outside sources like freelancing, side gigs, and I might not like it, but you know what? Sometimes you have to be willing to take on jobs that you don't like so you can get to certain places that you do. With our current position right now, we don't have the luxury to be picky or let our ego get in the way because it's all about survival of the fittest and our future goals. At the same time, I would look around my house to see if I can sell anything. Furnitures, gadgets, clothes that I don't wear. In fact, this would be the perfect time to try to work on a few side projects where you declutter your space and try to make it as minimalist as possible, because the goal here is simple, right? Stack up as much as you can, but at the same time, keeping it as realistic as possible. Don't try to overreach yourself where you're trying to save up $10,000. I would say something in the line of $1,000 would be good enough. If there's any unexpected crisis that show up, you would at least have a buffer so you can take care and manage any unexpected expenses. Now that I have everything lined up, I'm focused on making money. I'm keeping my costs as low as possible. I'm also slowly introducing the minimalist budgeting that's going to help us move forward and stay out of panic mode. We're not going to make things complicated with 12 different categories. In fact, we're going to keep it as simple as possible with just 3 buckets: needs, future, and fun. So with needs, it's everything that keeps me alive and functional: rent, utilities, basic food, transportation, minimum debt payment, phone, and internet if I need it to work. So with future, it's any money I can set aside for savings and later investment and debt payoff above the minimum. At the beginning, it might be small, but that's cool. And lastly, we have fun. That's everything else: eating out, coffee, clothes, little wants, and entertainment. So with that, every dollar has to fall at least into one of these categories, purposely, not by accident. And this is where minimalism changed the whole game. I'm not trying to manage 30 different type of categories. I'm just trying to make sure that my needs are met, my future gets something, and my fun does not quietly eat everything out. Lastly, let's talk about lifestyle, because I think that's where most people falls off. If I had to start over again at zero, I would be very careful not trying to recreate the exact same lifestyle that got me into this place to even start with. I would have to accept that for a while, my life is not going to be as fun as it used to be. Less partying, less going out with friends. I would have to accept that I might have to order less and eat more at home, maybe wearing the exact same clothes, not buying a new outfit, and really just focusing on me, myself, and I. It's not because I don't deserve nice things. It's really because if I'm redesigning my life, I would want my happiness to not be tied to the amount of money I spend. I would instead want to focus on investing on things that actually add values into my life, like families, friends, creative projects, and low-cost entertainment. That doesn't mean I don't have fun. It just means that whatever I'm spending out of my fun bucket, it has this limitation that respects my needs and my future. And that's where minimalism comes in, because minimalism tells us that treat yourself, but treat your future self as well. So there you have it, you guys. The basic ideas of what I would do if I had to start over at zero. So thank you guys for watching today's video. If you gain any value from this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and push the notification bell for more on sustainable fashion, personal finance, and minimalism. I'll see you guys in my next video.